Hey, how's it going, everyone? This is Marco Moreno, Jay Lopez, Christian Garcia. Today, the base is Gracie Jiu-Jitsu in Leesburg, Virginia. Today, Monday.
The 23rd.
23rd?
Yes.
23rd, 2020. I always forget.
I always thought it was a trick question.
I always forget. I always forget the days. I hope everybody's doing well. We're doing amazing here. And as always, trying to stay connected with you guys and check how is your progress. Are you training? We hope that you are doing your solo drills at home, practicing watching your videos, getting a new partner involved so you can practice your jiu-jitsu. We are seriously thinking about, we are actually working the details about doing a very because this video is on the Facebook page. It's just gonna be for everybody who like the page. We're gonna have a specific class for students only where we connect and we teach the virtual classes online. That's coming soon. Please stay tuned for the details on the email. So I hope everybody had a great weekend. How was your weekend?
Very relaxing, quiet.
Good? Quiet?
Yes.
Christian? Same. We went to a restaurant. Should I tell this?
You went to a restaurant?
Oh, jeez.
Go ahead. You already. I should have said it.
You already said it.
So we went to the restaurant with Christian, right? And we said, "Are you guys open?" Yes, we're open. And then they say we only allow 10 people, right? And they say, "Yeah, but you guys are the only 2 here, so you can't come in." So we dine in.
Did they make you guys separate?
No, we still went together.
We still sat in the same booth.
But the lady went, "Hey, how's it going?" And Christian went, "Yeah, good. How are you doing? How's the business?"
You asked her how the business was.
Yes.
But like that's just no. I think that's just
normal.
That's normal.
That's normal.
He wasn't trying to joke.
But you see there, it's
That's just
there's
normal.
No, she just
when
kind
you
of.
walk in.
Yeah, because I mean, anybody who doesn't know him would be like, man. But like if we know him, you know,
Exactly.
he's not gonna say, right?
It's just reflex, you know. We ask these things.
Right.
It's just like things that we try to stay as normal as possible.
Right.
You know.
Right.
And this weekend we had a live webinar with the Gracie brothers, where the idea is that if you cannot come to Jiu-Jitsu, Jiu-Jitsu will come to you.
Man, the webinar was supposed to be students only.
Yes, I think the link they sent us for YouTube, I think there was a problem with YouTube.
Yeah, there was a I
And
don't
then
think
they
they could
had
handle
to.
the bodies.
And then they had to just make it like a live Facebook,
Free.
same as we're doing right now. But it was good seminar. You guys watch it? You guys watch it?
Yeah.
I stopped
So-
after they announced Christian winner of the gi though.
Oh, we're gonna talk about that. They gave the last. We're gonna talk about
We'll
that.
talk about that already.
You guys, I hope you watch it. If you haven't watched it, I think there's still.
It's still
you
on there.
can
Gracie
see it
Breakdown.
there. You can go Gracie Breakdown, the Facebook page, and like it, and then you can review. And I got a good technique. Do you have any techniques or anybody? If you are watching and you have any question regarding the webinar, let us know, and then we'll see how we can help. But what you got from it?
Just the Ryron and Rener, the idea of okay, if he's in the mount, Ryron's whole philosophy of preventing high mount before he even gets to that far.
Prevent the
Yeah.
worst case scenario.
He said before we even get here,
Keep the hands.
hands here, elbows tucked. You know, if he's postured up, trying to get in the collar, your hands are being very sticky, very annoying. You know.
Yeah, I got some more. I've seen those techniques before. Marcos does that one, the high mount, when he brings his legs all the way
Into the armpits.
But I see some extra details there. And I was like, man.
Yes. So high mount. Should we do a little techniques?
We sure thing. Let's do it.
Okay, cool. Look, you guys, just a little review, just in case you wanna come.
Yeah, please. Go ahead.
So this, first of all, don't allow the high mount, right? For whatever reason, the high mount goes here. This is a good escape that I first learned from Ryron Gracie. I saw Ryron Gracie doing this, the very first one who I saw some of this concept. But the idea is to push the guy. He's so high, you push him, right? And then you drop your hips, like try to kind of like go under, and then you go and reach with your feet on the armpits, right? Once you have that connection here, then you can lower your hands. Key detail here, turn your head to one side, right? Because you don't want to hurt your neck. Turn your head to one side and then keep pushing and pushing and pushing. Now, you might catch a foot lock right here, right? Boom. Right here or not. That depends. So that's a good escape. Brian Ortega used that a lot too. Right? That's a good
That
one.
was a good one. That was a really
Yeah,
good one.
for a high mount. And then
Henry did one where he bumped the person over the knee.
Oh
Remember
yeah,
this
that was a good
Yeah.
one too.
What?
I got it.
That's not
Because I use that. I use that a lot. Especially I don't. He used it from this scenario, right?
yes, from high
From
mount.
this. I also have used that from when go back Christian from here. When people just punch him right there, right the punch like don't let me. Yes, don't let me. Yeah. When people is doing this, where you cannot connect, you can also do that escape, right? But then I show it from the scenario where the knees are by the armpits. So right here, he bump, has this hand here, he bump, and then this catch here. Has to catch here.
And the foot right here, you guys, you can't see it, but Christian's foot right here. Whenever Marco, go ahead, Mr. Marco, keep going.
So first, when I keep going, I use this elbow to help me get to my knees, right? If you want to keep going, if you don't use this elbow, it's going to be a little hard. You use this elbow, keep going here. Now this, yes, and then this hand goes to the ground, and you have to pull this across your body here. Across your body. Right?
We did that before. You call it the lawnmower.
Like a lawnmower.
When you start in a lawnmower.
You write this down. And then it's a good technique also for high mount, or it's almost giving your back, which is not.
I think
you're violating
right.
a principle, but you're giving your back with a plan, not just randomly like allowing them to put the hooks, right? So
yes.
in that case, you can work.
And there's always early, Mr. Marco, always early.
Early?
Preventative, like you get here in mounts, please, Christian, Marco, whoever, and I'm here, elbows tight, and I'm playing like I'm here. My arms are tight. Maybe he gets in the collar here. Yes. If I start reaching like this, knee comes up, boom. So come back. So I'm here. I'm still low. Hand comes over. I'm here. Boom, boom. But elbows stay low. Elbows stay low. The minute I start reaching up like this, yes, that's when I start developing problems. He S-mounts, he starts crossing the border, and I lose either my arm or whatever. It's right here, triangles, whatever. So first thing is like this, super tight. Sticky hands, super annoying. If Christian gets in the collar, no problem. I'm just watching his brother hand over here. If the hand goes over, look, my hand's here to meet it and greet it. Come over, please, Christian, like you're gonna choke. This, yes, boom, I'm here to meet it and greet it. All the while keeping the elbows nice and tight so he doesn't even get in the high mount.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So you're not doing like
I'm not reaching like this.
reaching, right?
Because look at how
As
my
soon as you did
armpits.
this, boom.
As soon as you show the armpits to your friends, they're gonna fill it with the knees.
You want to teach the top arm through?
Top
You
arm
do
through?
that?
Yes. So if I'm here,
Modified mount.
modified
escapes.
mount. So maybe like he's like this. He modifies the mount, you guys. If I'm here like this, I'm opening myself up for arm bars. Yes, he can come around the neck, maybe choke here.
And
Yes.
it's also stopping your elbow escape too.
It's stopping my elbow escape. To let's talk about that. So like I'm right here. I go for elbow escape like this. Christian modifies the mount. Immediately before I sit here too long before this is, top arm's gonna shoot. And then look, raise the shin, bridge, collect. And then look, you're right here, you can do a leg drag. But the main thing
You
is
need to get back in the.
you hold the shin.
Anybody watching, Erica?
No, nobody's watching.
Is anybody calling the camera?
I'm just kidding.
Oh, you're watching over there?
Start, boom, boom. If he doesn't modify mount, come back, Christian. If he doesn't modify the mount, I just continue with my elbow escape. Boom, boom. All right, but Christian knows better. Yes, he modifies the mount. Immediately, hands in tight. Look what I do. Shin. Don't spend too much time here. Shoot. Grab. Look at the bridge. Boom. And I'm here. If he falls, simple leg drag, throw him pass. And you're here. Don't forget to remove the arm. The last thing here. One more time, Mr. Christian. He's here. Yes, I'm going my elbow escape. He modifies the mount. You guys, if I spend too much time right here, he's gonna close the door right here. He's gonna bring a knee in. Yes, he's gonna shut down any attempt. So the idea is to, as soon as you see the door of opening of opportunity here, you want to shoot immediately, like this. You guys right here, look what I do. I just don't use I don't use my arm to throw the leg over. I do like a bridge, boom, and I throw it over right here. Come back, Christian, one step. Right here, you guys, if you don't hold the shin and you bridge, Christian just sits over, yes, or takes the back. So you have to hold the shin right here. So I'm here, boom, look at this, boom, boom, and I'm here. And then once you're here, you can do a simple leg drag pass. And then right here, don't forget to remove the arm last, and then you're there. Christian, you want to try this? Especially like whenever you're going for elbow escape. You almost do the counter here. Turn on your side. Elbow escape, I modify my mount. Top arm shoots through, collect the shin, bridge. Yes. And then I'm here. Yes, pick up the leg, pass the leg. And your passes are whatever you need. Guys, if you have questions. Wait, I'm thinking.
My mom is watching.
Loyal. All your family is
My
watching?
family's always watching.
Man.
Any questions?
I love that.
Ready? Oh, man, I'm thinking we're in class.
With class.
I know.
Aww.
In the Zoom meeting, we're
Nice
gonna
and
have
slow.
to say that. We're gonna have Zoom meeting classes. Anybody has any questions so far?
I probably missed a few details on that one. So if you guys saw something that I
Go to the
missed.
seminar. We're just doing a little like review
Yes.
of what we like the most, but you can go actually and watch the Gracie brothers actually teaching these techniques. So it was awesome, you guys. The seminar, the webinar, they're gonna do more. So stay tuned. We're gonna send you the link. Hopefully they resolve the issue of just being just for
Oh, like certain amount of.
students.
Yes.
And we'll be happy to. Man, speaking of modified side mount, I'm gonna show you another one because I was watching you and Master actually do it here. Say every time you do elbow escape, they modify. Sometimes you kind of like shrimp here and bring the top knee through. This top knee through is also a very good one. Right here. And what you do, and what I remember Helson teaching this, what he does is he just extend the leg up. Don't fall, don't fall. Yes, and then the other one comes here. And then you're here. Like, right? Now, some people might fall. So one more time, right? You do elbow escape, modify, shrimp, top knee through. Some people fall, some people fall. But the good ones don't fall. The good ones, when you extend, don't fall, don't fall, don't fall. Yes, and then you have this other hook right here, and then you come to more like a
Open guard, butterfly.
open guard. Yes, butterfly open guard. So it's a good one. That's a Helson Gracie modified mount escapes. So those techniques were good for the webinar. You guys had any questions? So at the end, they had this Elliot Gracie. When Elliot Gracie turned 100, right? Well, he was already dead, but it was gonna be his 100th birthday. The Gracies made a special gi collective collection gi, Elliot Gracie 100, right? And they were selling them, but it discontinued, right? And then for this webinar, they found the last one, the last collection, Elliot Gracie 100 gi, and they were giving it as a gift in between a raft that was entered for all the students who were watching, all the people who were watching, right? And they had to comment.
When Christian and I
Like
were flooding
50
the comments.
times a minute, both
Christian
of
and I
them.
were like cut and paste, cut and
They
paste.
had to comment.
It was a competition.
I messaged Jay.
How many people were watching?
That gi was coming to the basics.
1700.
That gi was
It was
coming to the
hilarious.
school
You
regardless.
guys were like just
They were like spamming all the
So,
comments.
in order to win, you had to comment your CTC, your town, and the state, and your favorite technique. So, all the techniques are
Christian
my
had
Like,
bulldozer,
talk to the
tackle the giant, talk to the bully,
Power push.
three teams.
You're like whitewater rafting.
anyway. So they pick, and the winner was Christian.
But like, what did they say? Like, what did they say? What they said was what Edon said was
I just
amazing,
talked
right?
to him.
He's
You don't remember
he's
him?
like, Christian Garcia. Wait a minute. He goes,
I don't remember.
I just rolled with Christian Garcia last week at
Yeah,
Marco's
because
school.
they
Yeah,
rolled.
yeah,
Tanner was like, you were just there.
You were just there, and he was like,
You
yeah,
shout
I was
out,
just
yeah.
there. So that was good. I wasn't watching. I was here warming up, and then I hear Christian Garcia. I was like, what? He won.
That's what we said too.
I
So
was very excited.
I was like,
how did you feel?
I jumped out of the because I was at the house. I was watching on my couch here. I was watching my kids, And I jump out of the couch, and everybody went like, "What happened? Why are you jumping?" I was like, "I just won the gi."
How many people were?
There was like 1,900 people.
Yeah, it was like
Like 2,000 people
Yeah.
watching, and Christian got the gi.
But I think like Christian and I were the ones who like. We're
No,
gonna
but they were the only ones.
But you guys
We were
were
gonna.
Yeah,
it was,
everybody
it was
was
coming to.
commenting.
It was gonna come to the basics. Either Christian or myself were gonna. It was gonna come back to Leesburg. So yes, or to Leesburg, not back to Leesburg.
No, but thankfully now I got it.
We have news though. The gi, Christian is gonna give it away.
What?
He's going to give it as a prize for the people watching this video
Ooh.
right now.
like
Comment now.
Yep.
If you comment,
Did I say that?
Christian
Wait a
is gonna
minute.
enter a raffle. And
Did I say that?
Christian, that's
I
that's
don't-
very nice of you.
No,
I'm so mad now.
Man, I say if
Respect.
It was a
it's
short-lived happiness.
you guys
Respect.
putting pressure on me.
Peer pressure?
I never say I was going to write.
A real friend would give it to the. Just kidding. Just kidding. Just
we're
kidding.
just kidding,
Pressure,
guys.
pressure.
first.
A real instructor.
If you choke him, maybe. Okay? We're just kidding. Sorry. Christian is not giving for you guys, but maybe we can do something like a T-shirt or something.
T-shirt, or maybe we can raffle off a free private
Free private.
A free private. Yeah.
That's good. Tomorrow.
tomorrow.
You watch
Raffle a free
tomorrow?
private.
You can raffle a free private for sure.
So we doing
guys-
the rifle right now or
Do you like
Raffle tomorrow.
tomorrow?
Tomorrow, if you tune in, the raffle is gonna be a free private.
Jay's
Free
giving
private. 1 hour.
private.
Free
Yes,
private.
I'll do
Who's
it.
your favorite instructor?
Your favorite instructor? No hard feelings.
No hard feelings.
No hard
Jason.
feelings. You guys, thank you for being here and review the webinar. Today also we're thinking about doing a little special Jiu-Jitsu for women,
Oh, nice.
right? If there are females
Nice.
out there thinking about training Jiu-Jitsu, we have a few of our female students who are gonna come here and share with you your experience of why they started training Jiu-Jitsu,
Man.
what were the benefits, what were they expected, how are the classes, and hopefully this will be a motivation for you watching to start training now. If you are training already, maybe this will keep you motivated to keep training your Jiu-Jitsu, and you know, it's because Jiu-Jitsu was created for the phrase of Elliot Gracie says, Jiu-Jitsu is for the kids, the weak,
The woman.
the females to get empowered. So it's kind of like the art is super helpful for everybody, including women. And the thing is, like, women are the least likely to come to a jiu-jitsu school,
Right.
right? And why is that?
I think.
We'll tell you.
I think the idea of maybe they understand the idea of rolling around with somebody maybe they don't know. You know what I mean? Or they group it in with and this is not a dig at karate or taekwondo, but they roll it in together saying, oh, it's like taekwondo or it's like karate.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Something like this. So they don't really know. But when they step in the door for the seminars, and when they step in the door for their first class, it's like a drug for them. They're like super addicted to it, you know. And that I'm sure that the ladies will
Cool.
talk about
Thank
that.
you guys.
I don't think anybody was playing better
Than the ladies.
Let's have the ladies come. Thank you
All right.
guys.
Let's do it.
Ladies come
Thanks.
in. Erika, Andrea.
Aloha.
Kim, are you coming or no?
Kim's keeping her distance. That's fine.
It's okay. You keep your distance over there.
You can sit in the entrance.
Can you see us all?
Yep.
Yep.
No, are you coming or no? You watch camera?
I got
You're
it.
gonna be behind the scenes? Behind the scenes or here? Huh? You should come on this side.
You're good.
Too close.
You got the
So comfy.
you got the comments enabled so they can comment.
I think John was saying congrats to you.
Yeah, there's comments. Did we slide right? Swipe left or I don't know. Right.
I know who's watching.
Yeah, it looks like 12 people are watching. Make sure you guys say hi so we can say hi to you.
John and David say congrats to Christian. Crystal says
Huh?
hello family. How do you want us to start?
Well, the first question I think is like, Jiu-Jitsu could be intimidating for females, I think, right? This is Andrea, by the way.
Hello.
Andrea, Erika, Kim, and well, they all train here, and they're here to answer any question regarding Jiu-Jitsu training for women, right? And I guess the first question I ask for everyone, whoever wants to answer, is like, why do you feel, I mean, I kind of know the answer because I feel it's the same for males. They get intimidated, but why do you feel not many women come to train Jiu-Jitsu? Why there's not more women training Jiu-Jitsu?
Self-defense isn't something that women feel like they can, not even self-defense, but
It's
like
not
a
their
combative
priority.
sport isn't really something that we're generally drawn to.
Maybe they feel like there's more men.
Heather,
It's
say hi,
intimidating.
ladies.
Yeah.
Hi, Heather.
Heather Paulding.
Yes.
So when I first started, I used to say all the time, I'll never do that. I don't like to be close to people. I don't want to be people sweating all over me, and I didn't want to get hurt. That was my biggest fear because I'm a long-time triathlete runner. I'm always training. I just didn't want to get hurt. And I told Jay all the time, I don't want to go. I'm going to get hurt. Finally, they moved to Leesburg, and I was like, well, I live here. I should just go to the seminar. So I came to the seminar and like blew up all of my, what's the word? Preconceptions that I had about. It's not safe, I'm gonna get hurt, everybody's gonna be bigger than me. Starting out in the WE program is great because you don't have any of those issues, really.
So
Very
the
welcoming.
preconception is that it's maybe a sport that is too violent, that you can get hurt, that it's gonna be people bigger than you smashing you, right?
And you're gonna be embarrassed, or you don't feel like you're strong enough, or fit
you're not gonna
enough.
be strong enough.
I have a question.
Or it's going to be
Anything else?
weird being really close.
Cheryl,
Yeah, I don't
People's
like
space.
being close to people.
Who's
that I
watching?
don't know.
Cheryl, say, do you have any advice for women when selecting a sparring partner?
Yes.
Selecting a sparring partner. Okay,
Thank you.
so before we go to that, I feel like first talking because you mentioned the WE program and the seminar. So what we do here in the basics, because we're a certified training center by the Gracie University, we have a special class for women called the Women Power, and then we offer free seminars every like 5-6 months, just to call the community and to kind of let them know what we're all about. And that's how Erica and
all of
Andrea,
us.
you too,
Well, the three of us, yeah.
went for
Started.
no, you didn't come for the
I
same.
didn't. I started
didn't.
with.
You
I,
just came to-
I called Marco.
You called me.
She's
I've
Yeah.
done
actually
a lot
did
of
it before
research.
me.
Yes.
Yeah.
And then after maybe 2 months, I went to the seminar because it just happened to be at the same time, and yeah.
Yes.
This is history.
And then, so how does it feel that program went for you? What are your takes from that program? How do you feel?
Well, I would say first, the classes are very important,
18
especially if you
people
want
watching.
to get to the next level. Foundationally, defense and the Women Empowered program is amazing. It's like something. All the women in there are very supportive of each other. And there was a question about choosing a partner, which is the instructors and also the people that have been in the class. They know that you pair up with somebody who's either your same size, same weight, maybe same level, and everybody's very supportive, even if you're just beginning or if you're advanced. So, and you go at the same pace as your sparring partner. Everybody in the class, I feel like, is very supportive.
Yes, that class, man, is fun.
It
It's
is
more
fun.
It's a lot
fun.
of
The
fun.
guys.
It's
the
way more
guys
fun
class.
than combatives.
Yeah.
It's very supportive when one of them is getting promoted. It's like everybody celebrates not so much in the co-ed class. And then yes, training partners is very important, and that's the thing sometimes in the ladies class, because to learn the basic of a move, you first need to do it against someone about your same weight and your same size first, to get a good understanding of how it works and why it works. And then from there you can start experiencing with somebody heavier, maybe a male, and you start getting challenged, maybe a male who's already starting getting resistance, and that's when you start going into like combatives and then master cycle, when you spar with a bigger guy who's resisting and he also knows jiu-jitsu. So it's another level. You see the levels? First somebody your size, right, cooperative, then somebody bigger but also cooperative, then somebody bigger and resisting more. That's how you get to the point where you can actually spar or practice your jiu-jitsu sparring with a bigger opponent. But yes, the best sparring first is somebody that is your same size and similar weight. I feel so, because that's gonna make you actually understand and repeat and be safe too. Because if you start first class trap and roll against somebody who's like 220 pounds and you are 120, there's gonna be physical limitations and you feel like the technique does not even work, right? So that's I don't know what you think.
I think it's also important to note that your instructors here are not going to allow for a disastrous partnership to happen. You're not going to be paired with somebody who we don't think that you're going to be safe with. And if you're very new, then you'll be paired with somebody who obviously has been doing this class at least for long enough where they know the moves. And then as you get more comfortable learning the techniques, then if you want to start sparring or doing the techniques with a male or somebody bigger than you or somebody who's holding you down 100%, that's when you can start to grow. But it's always at the pace of the person who's learning.
Yes, so for example, now, Kim has been coming a few months, right? But there's newer students who come after she started coming. And I know she knows the techniques, so the newer students partner up with Kim. And she's gonna be the best partner for a new student, right? Once the new students start getting better, where the new students come, they partner with it. So that's the idea, right? They partner with a student who has been coming already to the class, and if there's nobody there, the instructors are even can be their partners. So cool, you guys. Any challenges?
Yes, I was just going to say that.
Challenges in your training?
I had a challenge at the beginning, obviously, with trying to find somebody that could partner up with me, because until you can know to either ease up or go too hard, you know, it does take a while. That was one of my biggest challenges, I would say, starting out was.
I see.
We all did that at the
Yes,
beginning.
yes.
We all went like, boom, and we're
I
like,
know what you're saying. Sometimes you don't know exactly how the amount of pressure of a choke or an armbar or a guillotine, right? So you might go too hard to your own partner, but you have to start like understanding that how much pressure, because you also want to take care of your partner. So I think that's what your challenge, try to like start controlling the level of pressure.
And you also start finding people, once you start coming more and more, that you work well with.
Yes,
so,
personalities.
Exactly,
right?
and like knowing each other's different.
With that one, I can practice with, right? So good, man. How do you watching the videos? Was the videos helpful for you?
Very helpful.
oh yeah.
You've been studying a lot the videos, because that's Eve and Henner doing the technique there. So
And they're awesome. I mean,
Yeah.
yes.
And they go
Couldn't have
through
a
the
better
details
example.
that you sometimes miss during class. They go through detail by detail, so it's helpful to watch the whole video.
You learn every
Yes.
time you come to class. I'm still learning stuff, and I've
For sure.
graduated from the class, so you always watch the videos and come to class still.
Best class there is, and best class to start out in, I think.
For sure.
If you're a woman, yes.
ladies, so if you are in the fence of learning jiu-jitsu, I'll say come to Women Power. It's safe. All our programs I feel are safe, but the women there are very supportive. It's fun. We'll make it so you don't feel like you're gonna get hurt or crash, or you have somebody who's making it too hard your learning experience. And then from there, once you graduate, you transition to the co-ed Gracie combatives, where it's beginners, but you also have males there. How was that transition? You guys,
Oh, so
the,
yeah.
the ones who transition from the Women Power to the Gracie combatives, there's a little difference.
Yeah, I started doing combatives about a month and a half before I actually tested.
First you graduate.
I
she
didn't, but I
Why?
did because I was like really impatient, and yeah, it was a little confusing at first. But I mean, I would go home from combatives, and I would like cry. I'm like, this is so hard. Like I can't do this. This is really hard. I didn't feel like. I mean, I seriously cried like 3 times in a row. I was like, I'm never coming back. It was so hard, and because like the environment in the WE versus the environment in combatives, they're not better or worse. It's just very different. And I was just
The last
lost.
time?
It was like
Yes.
drinking from a fire
Sure.
hose for like, I don't know, 2 months.
Yes.
I was just lost. But like I kept coming, and finally I worked with the same people every time. I had the same partners, and they were my size, and I never got hurt, and it turned out okay, but it's definitely
So even
very
then,
different
you had to
experience.
see the partners who you are comfortable
Yeah,
working.
because you go from being a 4-stripe, in the pink belt class to you're starting at 0 again, and it's like going to college after graduating high school. You have to start all over, and you feel like you know nothing.
Right.
So it was,
The mindset is different
I don't know
too.
if you guys had the same.
I had the opposite experience because when I came, I actually got the times mixed up, and I was supposed to come to a women's class, but then it was just ending. And like, oh, well, you can do the combatives, it's co-ed, but I was the only girl for that particular class. And I can still remember, like, oh, okay, now there's a man on top of me now. This isn't weird.
This isn't weird at all.
But I actually felt like, yes, the combatives has a whole lot more. There's more slices, I think, compared to women's. So there is more information to take in, but I don't know. I still like combatives just as much as the women's, and I wouldn't change that I started combatives before I started women's. I still.
Question from the folks, Mr. Marco.
Yes.
Cheryl Kim says,
Cheryl?
yes. Would you ever consider having a ladies only session once in a while outside of WE?
Or GC.
Ladies, so just ladies come and you guys practice. Yeah, it'll be a good idea, I feel.
It's just like a spar.
The
Like
thing-
a,
the
like an
thing will
open mat
be-
Ladies only,
for ladies
what?
only.
Sparring or
The thing will be
whatever we want to do,
Or
or
like talking about.
Ladies
Open
only
mat.
session.
on ladies only session.
like
It's something that we can explore later. A few months ago we had, because women in Jiu-Jitsu, they organize and they do this like 2 hours women only Jiu-Jitsu training. Usually it's for sparring, right? And one time they did it here at the basics. I remember a few years back, and it was just women. Even me, I wasn't allowed to be here. Just women training, and they had their little seminar. A black belt came from Maryland.
Girls and geese.
Girls and Geese.
Yes.
I think that was the community called Girls and Geese, and they did their session here.
Oh, that's fun.
Yeah, and they get together. Maybe something like that we can do it here for the females at the school.
Go get Eve to come.
Eve?
Yeah.
I don't think Eve
That
will.
would be awesome.
Man, so you guys training like with your significant others? You train with Josh. How's training with Josh?
It's good. He actually trained with our 2 kids. Also come here, and they were training this morning while I was trying to get work done. They're downstairs on the mat training.
Man.
Yeah.
So Jiu-Jitsu still
My house isn't
alive
big enough.
Mm-hmm.
at the house. Maybe you can also practice with him. Once in a
Mr.
while.
Marco, maybe we can host a Gracie Games live. Maybe we bring in one of our children and do a Gracie Games so the parents can see the Gracie Games.
Oh no, we're gonna have a class
Oh,
in Zoom coming soon, you guys.
Stay
Zoom
tuned.
classes coming soon. We'll send the link with the schedule, and then so you can engage in the Zoom class with your kids and play Jiu-Jitsu with your kids. Cool. What was the technique that you liked the most in any technique in Jiu-Jitsu?
Guillotine.
My favorite is
Guillotine?
shrimp escape.
100%. Yep.
Shrimp.
She does love the guillotine.
Why you like the guillotine more?
I don't. It's just like a lock. It's like a hard lock. Like once you can get
So
into it, it's
simple.
just.
Should we teach the guillotine? Do you want to do it with
You were
us?
kidding.
standing.
Yeah, standing. Can you do this? So a guillotine is a technique that you can apply to someone who is attacking your legs, right? So the attacker first. The mindset of a ladies class is to stay away, right? Always. So if the guy
You
comes,
get away. It's all about.
yes, if you can run, you run, right? If I say, hey, excuse me, what time is it? You back up and then you go home and run, right? But let's say you cannot back up anymore. There is a wall behind you, right? And the guy goes for your legs. First, let me go for your legs, right? Let me go for your legs first, Andrea. This, right? He grabs you, he picks you up, he takes you down, go down, go down, go down. He takes you down, right? He gets on top. So that'll be the attack. Somebody coming to grab your legs. And the guillotine is the perfect answer for that attack, right? Somebody block the shoulders, feed the head, roll the legs, and I'm already getting a squeeze, but now go for the choke. Now she comes here. Go, 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 go. Yes. And then the guillotine comes on the neck. 4 seconds, 5 seconds of pressure, and I'm going to sleep. Now, if the guy does grab your legs, right? Stop my shoulders. Yes. When you come here, come. And he takes you down, you finished. You still can finish the guillotine. You can drag on the ground. So that's a good example of the techniques that we practice here. And was that too hard to learn? Was it hard to learn? It came natural to you.
It did. That one did. And I'd say the hardest was the triangle, but now it's now I think that is.
So many steps.
What about
I
yours?
so get it.
Everybody's gonna show your favorite technique, I think.
I like the triangle. If I have to show
Triangle.
something, that's-
Check this out.
or I could do shrimp escape. Whatever.
Triangle. So triangle is a.
Oh, great.
It's me here. The triangle is a technique where the guy is kind of already took you down.
We do it from heavy
He's
chest.
here. Yes, he's putting pressure on you here. You use your legs first. Push. Right? Hands, shrimp. Shoot the leg over. Grab your. And now here, I'm getting choked right now. You guys fighting? Keep the choke, keep the choke. Just like that. I go to sleep.
Good night.
Good night.
Kim?
Man.
Mine's the guillotine too.
Two?
Just because you can really get a hold of a bigger person
Bend
and
good hold, yes.
yeah, and keep them with the wall.
The guillotine against the wall. You wanna show that? Look. So, is this gonna camera guys? So we have techniques against first the 2 hands. Somebody very common right attack. Somebody coming 2 hands. Yes, you grab the finger, break the finger, run. Right? And it's when there's 1 hand. Also guillotine. One more time, Kim. Look, you attack the side, you push the side of the wrist where the thumb is. Using your entire body. You hit with the elbow, and then you wrap the neck. And then you finish. Thank you, Kim.
I feel like the
Advanced cartera.
fun. Yeah.
So, the guy with the power frame, the guy is holding, yes, the guy is holding your hips, right? You try to escape, and it's not working, right? So you have a power frame right here, look. Right? You shrimp. Once, if the guy is leaning forward, the knee comes, look, and now you create freeze. You create a knee shield right here. It's hard to get, see? This knee and this leg, right, has created a barrier where I cannot come to attack or to punch, right? She grabbed my wrist, look how she escaped. She kicked, boom, and now she's up. Good job. One more time, look here. Here's the back sequence. Look, the guy's holding your hips. Can't get out. Out. Good job. Man. Come on in, ladies. All right. Anybody has any more questions? Thank you, ladies. Last final words, something you want to share with the female? What do you see? How do you see yourself? How do you manage your training with your daily life? Maybe you're a mom.
Just a daily part of my day and made my day go actually a lot better. I loved it every single time I came. So it was, I kind of made it like a foundation for everything. It just worked into my schedule. So after you get the, I got the schedule and we were working together, it just, my family supported me going and made the time for it.
It's really a sanctuary.
Thank you. And Erica?
It
How do you?
It's a sanctuary. I mean, you make time for things that are important to you, right? So, I mean, I'm busy. I'm gone 12 hours a day, commuting and working and training and all this other stuff. But I try to come 3 or 4 days a week still.
Same. It's a priority to our family, and it's a good workout, and we're here almost every day except for Sunday, so. Yeah, I think everybody has their own form of self-care, and you know, people make time say like, oh, I have to work out first thing in the morning. And it's just the same kind of mindset of it's important to do things that feel good for your body, and I think people miss movement a lot, and especially when it's a community. Like you might go to the gym, but you're by yourself. You're just moving your body, but there's no real social contact. There's no community. Versus here, it is very much a community feeling. I think that's a part that really makes people want to stay here.
The community feeling, the workout. Do you guys feel like a little workout when you come
Absolutely. Yes.
to? Right. And yes.
And it's fun.
How important is your self-defense? Do you feel like now that you know these techniques, how does that impact and affected you? Have you felt the difference?
Yes, absolutely. I have. I haven't tried it at home with my family members, but I've definitely felt the difference.
It's not like you're gonna go to a dark alley
And try to fight
to
or anything
try
like that.
and look for fights, right? But
It becomes reflexive. Like if you feel like you might be in danger, or if you feel like you're threatened, you get a little bit more confident.
More aware of your surroundings
Yes.
too.
It truly does translate to daily life for me, especially because I'm single. I travel all the time by myself. I go all over the world
run by
by
yourself.
myself. I run by myself. So it really does change your mindset a lot. Even being in police work, it's something that you're always like. You always have in the back of my mind, like at least I know I can have something in my toolbox if I need it.
right, and people always say, "Hey, just carry," and yes, but
Not really convenient
they're
for me.
not convenient, but also you don't have it with you at all times sometimes, you know.
Yeah, and the element of surprise, your greatest tool is what you have with you all the time, which is
Yes.
your body. And I
Exactly.
think a lot of women might also have the mindset that like, oh, if something happens to me, I can take care of myself, because I feel like I used to have that mindset. I hear it from other people.
But how? How do you take
Yeah.
care of
I
yourself
need to
if you don't
groin.
have the
I need
tools?
to the groin.
Exactly.
That's what they say.
But
right?
then if that
What if
works,
he's on drugs?
then we
That's
wouldn't
not
see
gonna work.
these cases on the
Yeah.
video all the time. Like if that was really the answer.
Ladies,
That's why we
even
teach how you
guys
teach.
think they can fight, you know, and yes, they can have an idea of what to do, but it doesn't, because like Donald just said, if a knee to the groin will solve any attacker,
We would teach them.
right, then it wouldn't be, if that would have been like a magical thing,
Yeah.
right, then there wouldn't be so many cases in the news, right? And it's like sometimes, like for example, I thought I could dance, right?
I don't think I can.
Sometimes you think you know
No
more, right? The ignorance sometimes make you feel like you know more,
You can swim.
right? And then swim
You
a
can
little
swim?
bit, no, why? But then I went to a dance class and I know I don't know anything. Just have to be humble, open your cup. That there are all techniques out there that can help you even get higher with your self-defense. If you feel like you're a woman who's capable and you're strong and you will hit somebody in the groin, why don't you try also some of this approach, right? These techniques, but it's beyond the self-defense. It's also what Noel was saying, the community, the workout, being outside, right? And just meet amazing people.
I think the thing that's special about Jiu-Jitsu too is not, well, I can just punch the guys in the face or kick him in the groin. The techniques that we learn here are very scalable to different degrees of force that you might need to apply, different body types for your assailant. It'll work for anybody, and it works 100% of the time, and that's why they're taught the way they're taught. That's why they've, combined the techniques into so many different ways, because they know those are the ones that work.
Exactly, and worst case scenario, sometimes there are self-defense systems out there where the guy comes to attack and the women throw an elbow and a knee and a punch and an elbow and then they run. But sometimes, what if
It may
the
work.
element of surprise, the guy comes from behind, you're already on the ground, right? If you haven't trained ground techniques, then everything you learn standing goes out the window. So Jiu-Jitsu is good in a way that it prepares you also for worst case scenarios. The guy already took you down, got you by surprise, is on top of you, then what to do? We have techniques for all those scenarios. So hopefully you guys can come and try the class. We're closed right now. Once we open,
We'll be doing virtual classes.
we're doing virtual classes. Ladies, I hope you are studying your techniques. Anyway, so you have a card. I show you the card. I show the card to everybody. A women power card.
Brenda Hilgarder say, I also think the guys need to learn all of the WE moves. They work
ask-
for
I
everyone.
thought
They always ask, like,
Crossed my
show me
mind.
all
That's
the
so
stuff.
funny.
They,
Yes.
she said they work for
Yes.
everyone.
Yeah, for sure.
It is, and it's so
Yes.
foundational for everything else that you're gonna learn.
I teach
It's great.
teach them to the guys when they ask too, yeah, because they're like, I don't know that one.
Exactly, like choke from behind is not even combative. It's on the chokes from
Right.
behind.
Mhm.
And
It's
the
not in
guillotine
combative.
and the guard, did they do that one?
Guillotine, yes.
Yeah, okay.
Guillotine. Oh no, guillotine from starting from guard, no, but guard pull. So yeah, there are techniques that are on the women program that are not in combatives. Eventually, the combatives guys go to the advanced class. In the advanced class, we learn. But ladies, this is the card, the attendance card, right? There are 15 classes in the program.
Should I get closer?
Cameraman cannot zoom.
Right here, where you have to fill out all your techniques. Every 7 classes, we have a reflex development class where we do a review of the previous classes, right? You have to come to your 15 classes 4 times, right? And then you get stripe progress here, so you get your stripe after 20 classes, 15 classes. And then upon completion of the program, you test, you show us that you know all these techniques left and right. We do a freestyle fight simulation. We test you, and then you get your score. Upon passing the program, you get your pin belt. And today, she tested before we closed.
Like right before.
Right before we close, we got the results back.
Oh wait.
The pink belt arrived,
We're just gonna look at it.
and it's time to award her her pink belt. We cannot wait. She did amazing. Got an amazing score, and it's time to let's stand up, please, Kim. Award Kim her pink belt. Congratulations.
They gave me this one.
Kim graduates
Thank you.
from the program, and today we're giving her her official pink belt for completion of the program. Good job, Kim. Amazing technique, super dedicated. You did it.
So awesome. Congratulations.
Congrats.
Man, I felt like we could not wait. Your belt arrived, and I was like, we just give it to you, you know? How do you feel?
Good.
You wanna share maybe
Testimonial?
testimonial or?
If you're thinking about trying, you definitely should. You'll meet some amazing people and you'll learn a lot of awesome techniques from the great instructors here.
Thank you, Kim. Thank you, Andrea. Thank you, Erica. If you wanna add anything or?
Next steps. So like, what do you do after you get your, like some people have different.
Are
So,
you gonna do combatives?
Oh, me? Yeah, putting me on the spot.
so after you get your pin belt, you can go
We already
to
started.
the next step will be Gracie Combatis, Andrea and Erica and Manuel are doing, so that will be your next step. Or you become a
Instructor.
lifetime member, free lifetime member of Gracie or Women Power. So you can just come and keep training your Women Power for forever, you know, because there's still like things that we can tighten up. Even we pass me, I am still perfecting my trap and roll. So just keep coming to Women Power, even though you graduated, to help the other students and and also sharpen up your skills. So thank you, ladies, for being here, and have a great time. Thank you. Thank you. Let's go down. Thank you. And now we're gonna have Jason. So who's gonna hold the camera? Thank you, ladies.
Jason, you can hold the camera and talk. Jason, can hold the camera and talk. Hold on, hermano. Yes. There you go.
Jason has amazing. Who do you want to show? Christian? Okay.
You need a break? Good.
With the instructors here about the importance of concepts in Jiu-Jitsu. Techniques are good, but concepts are also gonna take you to the next level. Jason, take it from here.
Man, thank you. Am I the last billing?
The last one. It's a hard
Is
act.
that-
A hard act to follow.
Is that the headliner?
That's
or
the headliner. You were the opening act.
we get awesome. So I get asked a lot about like my jiu-jitsu journey and where I started, and it kind of naturally turns into this conversation about progress and how long it takes you to get your blue belt, how long does it take you to get your purple belt, and I always tell people that I don't think anybody's jiu-jitsu journey goes straight up and steady the whole time. I think for most people, you kind of you start out, you don't really know anything, and then they show you a few things, and you kind of get a little bit better, but then you hit this plateau and you kind of hang out there for a little bit, and then something happens, something clicks, you have an epiphany, and then you kind of get better again, and then you plateau, and then something happens, you have an epiphany, an understanding, and you get better. And I always thought, you know, I can almost think of every one of my epiphanies. And I thought if I could teach people those epiphanies, those understandings that I had, maybe I could shave time off of their jiu-jitsu journey and have them straighten out that curve and get rid of those plateaus.
Or make it more efficient. Either
Make
one.
it more efficient.
Yeah, make it more efficient for them.
And so then it naturally becomes, well, what are you talking about? What does this mean? And I always talk a lot about the why behind the how. The why behind the how. And what do I mean by that? It's an understanding of why techniques work and not just how. You can go on YouTube all day long and watch people doing techniques, and they will show you the how. But if they don't give you the why something works, then you're probably not going to be able to employ it to the effectiveness that you want to. So I like to try to explain to people a lot the why behind the how. And we do this when we do a slice presentation formula. When we teach, we explain the why behind a lot of the steps in a technique. Use a monkey grip versus a C grip because the monkey grip is stronger than the C grip. But I'm talking like even bigger things, like what makes a blood choke work? Blood choke, right? Guillotine, triangle, collar choke is restricting the blood by pinching off or collapsing the carotid arteries, right? So that it prevents the blood from flowing to the head. As long as I understand that, I can start to employ different techniques to make a blood choke work, right? I can use my hands, I can use my legs, I can use their gi, I can do a lot of different things. But if I don't understand how a blood choke works, then I'll never be able to figure out any of these techniques really well.
So in other words, you may get the how, but you don't understand the why.
You don't understand the why.
The why.
Right. And it slows you down. It slows everything down, because when you learn just the how, you're just learning that technique in that one moment in time, right? If all I showed you, for example, was a trap and roll, standard variation, right? You get on top, guy gets on top, and they hold you down, they choke you. If you only understood the trap and roll from that particular moment, you would never probably ever get the trap. You'd miss out on all the other times where trap and roll.
Right. So you'd be stuck with that. You'd be stuck, not to negate it, but you'd say wrists, arm, foot, and I know that'd be the only thing I know.
That's the only way I know it. So what I say is, what's the why a trap and roll works, right? And conceptually, what a trap and roll is kind of this, right? So if I was a table, give me just a little bit of room. If I was a table, right, I'm very stable as a table. Why am I stable as a table?
Yeah, four legs.
Because I have 4 points of contact on the ground, right? I'm very stable. I'm also really, really stable as a tripod, right? So if I have 3 points of contact on the ground, I can have 2 legs and a hand. I can have 2 hands and 1 leg. You can get really creative, have 2 legs and just your head, but you're still very, very stable. But the moment that you take 2 legs away, and now I'm just balancing on 2 legs, I can hang out here for a while, but the moment I have an off-balancing movement, something happens that pushes me off balance, I'm going to roll, right? So that's what makes a trap and roll work. So let's look at the trap and roll, Jay, if you don't mind.
I don't mind.
This is a standard trap and roll. So Jay's here. I need to block the side of his body. I block the arm and I block the foot. Now I've essentially blocked all of his body here on this side, right? Now what do I need to make Jay fall?
Little bit of unbalance.
Most people would say an upa.
Oh, a bridge, okay.
Most people would say an upa, a bridge to make him fall. But what is a bridge? What is an upa? All a bridge and an upa is a way of off-balancing you, right? So all I need is an off-balancing movement. So yes, a bridge, yes, works. Great. But if I can off-balance Jay in any way, without an upa, it still worked. And if anybody was here for the Ryron seminar, Professor Sauer showed this. He showed trapping, no upa at all, just kind of rolling over the leg. And what he was doing was simply off-balancing the person that had that one side of their body completely trapped, right? So I have to trap the body. And why am I trapping the body? The side of your body.
So
to prevent base, right?
Right.
So you can't base out. But if I take this understanding of a trap and roll and I say, okay, I got to take 2 out of those 4 legs, and then I need an off-balancing movement. You can start to get creative with some of these techniques. And one of my favorites that I like to do a lot, again here from the mount, is as I'm here, the person has the mount, I'll do a bump, and I'll get their knees right here kind of on my belly, and now I've essentially trapped 2 of the 4 legs, and now all I need is an off-balancing movement. So if I just roll, he off-balances. Is it a trap and roll, though? It's not a trap and roll by definition of the techniques, but it's a trap and roll in theory, right? The theory of trapping something to prevent you from basing and allowing myself to roll, which is off-balancing. Trap 2 out of the 4 legs and off-balance. So if you only think of like trap and roll as one technique, which it is, but it's also this concept that's bigger than that. Where else do we see this idea of trapping aside and then off-balancing?
Guard, maybe a scissor sweep?
Guard, exactly.
Even leg hook takedown.
Leg hook takedown?
Yeah, you take
So-
the leg and
So this is
that's a trap.
Jason, my guard. I shrimp out, I get my leg across. Classic kind of scissor sweep. I've trapped this side and that side he can't base out. Now all I have to do is what? Off-balancing movement. And I end up on top. What else?
Elevator sweep, maybe?
sweep.
Perfect. Elevator sweep from guard. So I'm here, I'm holding my guard. He posts his legs, I hip out. I underhook the arm, I shift his weight forward. This entire side of his body is trapped. And now I just off balance him because he's susceptible to falling this way. And now I'm back on top. So trap and roll is so much. Man, I was thinking like, even to me, trap and roll doesn't even stop there. Like even turtle. You do that nice little turtle where you kind of run in and then you pull them back. Real quick, Jay, if you would, a little turtle move.
Mm-hmm.
So Jay will do this sometimes. I'm probably not going to do it to the extent that he does. But I'm going to roll him this way. So I block his arm, I block his leg, and all I have to do is off balance him this way to where he can't base. And so it's essentially, I trapped the side of his body, and then that's what allowed it to work. And once I started that understanding of kind of what makes techniques work, then you start to see them all over the place.
So it's more, it's like a lot less, it's more philosophy, theory, principle based. So they can, so what you're basically telling them is, look, you know the technique, you just need to know the principle, and you can, you'll get more techniques once you say, okay, I'm going to be a principle based learner.
Exactly.
Right? Table, I need to chop 2 legs of the table in order for me to have a successful, and an off balancing movement in order to have a successful trap and roll.
Exactly. And I look at a lot of techniques this way. This is where I went from my plateau up. When I look at blood chokes, I say, what do I need to make a blood choke? I need to put something on this side of my opponent's neck to block this side, and I need to put something on this side of their neck to block that side. Right? So if they're wearing a gi, maybe I put my hand in their collar. I say, okay, that side's blocked. Now what do I need to do? I got to block the other side. So how do I do that? Maybe I bring my other hand in. I block it there. Maybe I loop my hand around and I come around and I use the gi on the other side, do a loop choke. But the concept of blocking the arteries is still the same. It's just the tools I'm using in order to do that. What do all joint locks have in common? At their foundation, what do joint locks have in common?
You bend in the opposite way.
You're taking their joint and you're manipulating it in a direction where they're not supposed to go, right? Your arm's supposed to bend like this, you're making it bend the other way. That's almost all joint locks. So once you understand that, now you're going to start to see joint locks in a whole different way. You're going to start to see arms. Hey, his arm isn't supposed to bend that way. I can do something and try to make that happen. So that's the question that I always ask is, do you think all the techniques in Jiu-Jitsu have been discovered? Do you think we're done coming up with new techniques?
Probably.
I don't think so. So if we wanted to as a group right here, say we're going to invent a new technique.
Less than 10 group though.
It's less than 10 today. It is less than 10. If we wanted to invent a new technique, we'd first have to decide what that technique is. Right? We want to do a choke, we want to do an arm lock, we want to do a sweep, right? Once I do that, then I have to decide, okay, what is it that makes that technique work? What is the fundamental thing that makes that technique work? Is it the arteries? Is it if I'm going after his arm and I'm putting the arm in a precarious position? Which way does it move naturally? And now I'm going to try to move it the other way. And then I have to figure out, okay, what am I going to use in order to do that? And I think that's what Elio understood so well, was that he didn't have to have all the techniques. He had to have an understanding of what made these basic techniques work, and then he was able to explore and start developing all his techniques. He learned Jiu-Jitsu. He didn't know it all at once. He kind of learned it, but he learned it by, I think, these big concepts of leverage and positioning. It's like unbalancing,
using their opponent's energy against them. And
what did he understand? This is an interesting question. What did he understand about the guard that nobody else understood? Nobody else really wanted to go to that position, but what did he understand about that position?
It was like safer than most people would think. It was his safe space.
So for me, I think of the guard as like, well, you're not going to put me down farther. Like, I'm already down.
Back with my back. Yeah,
so balance isn't even really a question for me when I'm in guard. I'm not going to fall on my back more than I'm already on my back. And now what do I have at my disposal? Now I have all my extremities to use in this position. And you, on top, have to worry about balance and not falling over. And then plus I've got 4 extremities attacking you. So I think if you start to think of techniques and like their basic building blocks, right? Breaking down to their basic building blocks. And then that's going to allow you to see those techniques in a whole new light. And it did for me. It allowed my jiu-jitsu journey to go from kind of that plateau stage to, a little bit higher, and then I plateaued. And stay tuned next week. Maybe I'll give you another jiu-jitsu theory.
The car metaphor. You can use the car metaphor.
Do we have time for the car metaphor? We got an
I was
hour.
hoping for the car
Yeah,
metaphor.
we're reading about it already.
I like the car metaphor. I like
5
it.
minutes?
All right, 5. It's a 20 minute.
20 minutes?
So well, let's
Man.
distill it down.
20. I'll give you the cliff noted version. So, Jiu-Jitsu is all about efficiency. So, I in my brain, this is how it worked. I said if I was to see a car, and I had to move the car, right? I could do it a couple different ways. If I was strong enough, I could just push the car. I could just move the car out of the way. As it is in park, if I was strong enough, I could do that. But how would I feel afterwards? I would be completely exhausted. In Jiu-Jitsu, any time that you force a technique, you're using strength over leverage, strength over proper technique. You are essentially pushing the car in park. And you can get away with it for a little bit, but it's not sustainable. It's not efficient. It's not Jiu-Jitsu. And you see it on a Friday night, the guys that are pushing cars, because they'll roll once and then they're sitting on the wall out of breath. And you realize that they're probably pushing the car. And I'm guilty of it too. There's plenty of times when I push the car, and my goal on a Friday night has changed on open mats to, I want to be able to roll all night and not really be tired at the end. I want to be able to spar with as many people.
Yes. I personally love when I spar and somebody goes 100%. They're like, you can hear breathing heavy. They're like, and I'm like, yes, this is what I want, because he's gonna get tired before I get tired.
They're pushing the car.
Yes, they pushing the car.
So I like that. I like when they push the car, but I don't want to push the
So
car.
like they're pushing the car and they're pushing when you're in the passenger
I am
seat.
on top.
You're in the passenger seat and they're pushing the car, right?
I gotta add this to my theory. The windows down, radio's on, and they're pushing
the car.
So the next way I could potentially move the car is I could put the car in neutral. And then if I have to push it, it's a little easier to push. So anytime that I do something to make a technique easier, I shift my opponent's weight and it becomes a little bit easier. I position my body and that movement becomes a little easier. I've essentially put the car in neutral and made it easier to push. It's a more efficient way to do it. But probably one of the most efficient ways to do it is to have the car drive itself, put the car in drive, or have the car move on its own. So anytime that I can do something that makes my opponent go where I want them to go, if I can kind of do that Jedi mind trick on them and get them to go where I want them to go, then I've essentially made the car drive itself. It didn't take much effort on my part at all. They just did it. And then the last way is to realize, you know what, I can't push the car. I can't put the car in neutral. I'm just going to go around the car. And there's a lot of times in Jiu-Jitsu, if there's a wall, if there's a roadblock that you can't go through, it doesn't make sense to go through it, or it's going to require so much effort to go through it, and it's not worth it. At that point, either look for other opportunities. If they're holding you down and they're not letting you move, it's okay. Play defense for a while. What's going to end up happening, it becomes a who's controlling who, right? What's going to end up happening is they're going to get frustrated, or they're going to go into an attack. And as they go into their attack, then it's going to open up the opportunity, right? Yes. So this understanding of maybe I'll do something different. Because oftentimes if somebody sees you trying something and you're doing it and going after it and going after it and going after it, all they have to defend is that one thing. But if you're constantly able to move and change, it's much harder to predict. So I can do this real quick in like a real quick theory, like a real quick demonstration. We have another 2 minutes.
Yeah.
Okay, back up and I'll do a real quick kind of demonstration of what I mean. Jake, and I've already one more time.
Where do you mean?
Right here in the guard. Am I too close?
Nope, you're good.
So in guard, very basic understanding of how a triangle works. I have to get one of Jay's arms between my legs. That's what I have to get the triangle set up, right? That's basic first step of the guard. Now, I can push the car. I can try to force this car in between my legs here. Go, let me do it. I use all my strength. I finally get it, I'm here, but now I'm tired. It's not the most effective way. So I would much rather get this car to drive itself. And in Jiu-Jitsu, it's really weird. Everything is almost opposite of what you think. If I want Jay's arm to his chest this way, I almost have to pull it away. Because as I pull it away this way, his natural instinct is to resist and pull it the other way. And as he pulls it the other way, that's my opportunity to get to the triangle setup. Now what's interesting here is who put the hand where I wanted it? You did. You drove the car exactly where I wanted it
to go there.
But why did you do that?
Because I felt you pulling it that way.
Because you thought I wanted it this way. And you said, if he wants it that way, I've got to take it this way, and that's where I wanted it.
I got to have it back, and then that's what happened.
So the car just drove itself. Now, I want to I got to get, what's the next step? I got to get the arm over, right? So I can force this arm over if I want, use a lot of strength and try to force it over. But if he's resisting hard, this is really tough to do. So we try to make it a little easier to do. We want to put the car in neutral. So how do I put the car in neutral? I raise my hips, his arm's a little lighter, and it naturally passes over. So I put the car in neutral, I made it lighter by lifting my hips up, and then I was able to bring the arm across it. And then from here I could go into finishing the triangle. But what happens if I'm trying to raise my arm or my hips and his arm isn't coming across? It's just not working. I don't want to force it. It's not going across. What do? He's built the roadblock. He's not letting me do what I want to do.
Go around it.
So I'm going to try to go around it. So I can either hang out here and give him time to escape, or I can start to work like different things. And one of the things I like to work is this right here, this little Kimura lock here from his arm. So Jay doesn't like that. So Jay starts to straighten his arm. So I go a little short arm bar. Here, he doesn't like that. He brings his arm across, and the car just drove itself right to where I wanted it. And it didn't take any effort from me.
I don't like your car, Jason.
So you guys, man.
Amazing.
Good
Do you
theory.
think you can come up with some, like, maybe, like, not to, like, a Cliff Notes version, and we can post this? Maybe in the group or on the school, give it to Marco.
I was going to write a book, and then I realized I don't have enough for a book, so I'm going to write a really well-detailed pamphlet.
Log.
I think it's important. I like the car metaphor. When you said that, from the first time you said that, that
Makes
that
sense?
resonated with me, yeah.
So it's from being broke down on the side of the road a whole lot, guys.
Should I push it on? Should I let Randall push it? Or?
Marco, you want to close out?
Yes.
Man, look at us over there on the big screen.
Like, there's a delay, too, so, like, I'm not doing that right now.
Watching the comments, there's a lot of guys. Jerry said, thank you, Jason, for the concepts. John the Stefano, all the ladies, thank you that you were watching, saying congratulations to Kim. And I think that's it for today.
Good.
Just want to do this to stay in touch with you guys, to see how you're handling these strange times that we're living, but we try to, as much as we can, to be here and bring you some of these sessions.
We
right?
miss the students, man.
We miss
I
you.
miss being here.
We cannot wait.
Tanner says, hello, my Jiu-Jitsu family.
Tanner, stay tuned for an email regarding details to the Zoom.
Z-O-O-M?
Z-O-O-M,
Zoom.
yeah.
To the Zoom classes. We'll bring you the details in the next day or so. So thank you very much. Tomorrow, what do we have tomorrow? You have more concepts for tomorrow?
Sure.
More
I'm
metaphors.
available all week.
He's got a truck going with the bus. That's
More
awesome.
concepts of Jiu-Jitsu, and we'll figure out something for tomorrow. Something fun.
I can do some solo drills.
More
giveaway.
solo drills.
And the giveaway tomorrow.
Giveaway?
Gi? Christian's Gi?
Christian's Gi giveaway?
Christian is gonna give his gi tomorrow.
I don't think he's too happy about that. You're gonna have to fight him for it.
We'll convince him to eat it. It's not gonna fit you anyway.
Yeah, it's too big. It's
Oh,
an
the
A6.
private lesson.
That's one of my goals for 2020. I need to
taller?
grow.
Oh, you're gonna grow to make
Oh.
it fit.
Isn't it a
Yes,
private
gonna-
lesson, Marco?
Yeah.
Huh?
Isn't it a private lesson you're giving away?
Private lesson tomorrow for the people watching. Enter the raft, and you get a private lesson with any of your favorite instructors.
No hard feelings.
No hard feelings. No tie off, no hard feelings.
Thank you guys for watching. Stay safe. Please eat healthy. Get some sunlight. What else? Any
Just
recommendation?
practice social distancing. Just be careful if you go out. Just be
And
safe.
you know what?
you know?
I think yes, we're
Yes,
saying
we're
and we're not doing it.
Watch
You
the
know what is
videos.
important too?
Oh, watch the videos. Yeah.
Don't.
That's true.
I said don't let the fear take over. You know, try to stay positive. I think that's
It's a good
very
opportunity to slow down a little bit,
important.
concentrate on what's important,
Exactly.
puts things in perspective.
Like everything, this will pass. We'll be back to normal. Just hang in there, patient. Like in Jiu-Jitsu, when you're on the bottom of the side mount, you have to. This is the time when you have somebody attacking you, your face is getting smashed, right? You're thinking, right? Like as soon as this is over, I can get out. So at that time, you have to exercise your patience and your survival skills. So we trust that you guys are doing amazing, and we'll see you soon.
Thank you guys.
Thank
you.
you.